Hi, everyone. Welcome to Let's Talk. I'm Valerie Lorraine. I'm your host for this evening, and this is our producer, Quentin. We're really excited to be venturing into this new show. We have some plans to get to know our guests and to have some fun, too. So we're hoping that you enjoy the evening with us. Quentin, what do
What's
you
going
think of
on?
the show? What?
So your new show is going to be serious shenanigans. Explain to I know it's a mission statement that's scrolling, but explain to the audience what it's going to be about. Um, what's your intention with the show?
Well, I'm really excited to get to know artists a little bit more of a deep dive, right? Have some serious discussion with them, and then you know what? I want to have some fun too. I want to joke around with people and get to see their fun side, and so you get to know somebody as a more of a whole person, the artist behind their artwork. So we're gonna hear from tonight. It is Sincerely Yours from IG. That's his IG handle, sincerely underscore yours 86. And we are going to hear some of his poetry. We're going to talk about his poetry. We're going to talk about what he's got going on in life and who he is and what his hopes and dreams are. And then we're going to chop it up with some shenanigans and see how that all plays out.
Yeah. I know when we talked about the show, you definitely had some humor that you want to bring. And I think that a lot of times people may not realize that sometimes, yeah, you want to have a show, you want it to be good, you want it to be dope, you want it to be excellent. Sometimes, a lot of times, people don't have the ability to laugh and be able to be comfortable. Definitely within their art, they might be nervous reciting their poetry. Even though it's not live, it's virtual. So your artistry is out there to the world. So um, look forward to it, and we'll see what happens. So everyone in the chat, make sure that you like, share, subscribe. Make sure you comment. This is Valerie's first inaugural show, and we're gonna start it right about now.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, I was over there jamming to the intro. It was lit.
Awesome, awesome. Would you like to introduce yourself to everybody?
Hey, it's up and it's stuck. I am sincere. I go by sincerely yours. That's my handle hashtag. And I'm a spoken word poet. I'm originally from New Jersey. I currently live in North Carolina. Um, and I'm lit.
You sure are. You sure are. I'm very excited that you're my first guest on the show. So, pardon me, I still got this bit of a cough. So, I love your bio. It says your 36 solar cycles have taken you on a journey and you're here to share it. So, you are a son, you love your mama, you're a father of two life size split mini me's for whom your legacy shall leave enough great works to be proud of and not feel clouded by them. You're a historian, a scholar. Let me see if I can get this word right because you might have to correct me. An epistemologist.
Epistemologist.
Say it again.
An epistemologist.
That thing. You're an autodidactic poet.
Autodidactic.
Okay, yeah, you just say these words. And the next one is an etymologist.
Etymologist. I love words.
Yeah, I knew that those were what it meant, but saying them something different. Poetry and my words are my muses, sometimes used for amusement, of course, there's more, but finding out where the treasure is part of the fun. So let me take you on a journey to the golden laid landscapes dipped in poetry. Fantastic bio. All right. So take us through a little bit of that. Tell us about your beginnings with your love for words.
So my love for words started with my mama. It's funny enough because what was meant to be a punishment turned into a forever fascination with words. So uh, I got in. I did something. I got in trouble one day in school, and my punishment was to look in the dictionary. Well, write the whole first page of the dictionary out on a piece of paper. Right. So I had to write the whole A's in the dictionary. And when I came across the word aardvark, the way it was spelled versus how it sounds blew my mind. So that kind of took me on a journey to wanting to understand words and language. And then later on in life, in high school, one of my teachers saw that I had a gift for writing. It started out as like short stories and things like that, and progressed naturally into poetry. Um, and right along the side of that, like while that was happening, um, I'd be going to, I'd walk home from school and there'd be a music shop. And I loved hearing records. So I would stop in there just to hear like they had a DJ and the DJ would spin records. And it was like a whole new world. So I convinced my grandmother to get me a DJ set. And I started spinning records, and I didn't know that records had instrumentals on the other side. So at the same time as I'm finding my expression like through poetry, I have a bunch of friends who rap. I have a bunch of friends who sing, and here I am with learning how to DJ and having access to all these different records with like old school instrumentals on them and things like that, and kind of melding those two uh, art forms together. And that became my love of music, words, artistry, and just finding creative ways to express yourself or and myself. So yeah.
Okay. Okay. I love it. It was supposed to be a punishment, and instead it turned into a blessing.
Yeah.
I love that. All right. So I want to know. So it sounds like you were a DJ. Are you still a DJ?
No, 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 no,
No.
no, no. Like it's funny because at like family gatherings, I'll be the one in charge of the music, put it that way.
Okay.
So I guess curating or musical selections. I guess I have an ear for music, so picking things that transition to keep the flow of the party going. I'm
Right.
usually good for that. So I guess in a way, I still DJ, but not in that sense. To where I'm out here
Okay.
trying to ever.
So what I hear is that you are the life of the party as far as the music is, and that there is no payment other than maybe food.
Listen,
Food and joy.
feed me, and I'm good. Okay,
Right.
like hot dogs, hamburgers, like I'm right now. I'm on a whole mushroom kick.
Okay.
So got some mushrooms. Let me know.
You
I
might get
like
more than you bargained for there.
I like because they're meat alternatives, and I'm trying
Yeah.
to get into more meat alternatives. And uh, so you got some food, I'm there. Like, and I'll give you
All
good
right.
music
All right.
selection.
Okay. So if you have a party and you have food at this party, then you can have some good music. You just have to hit up sincerely. All right. We got
Gotcha.
it. All right. So do you have um a significant body of work out there? Do you have, like, I know you have your Instagram page. Do you have a book? Do you have spoken word? Do you have like anything on any of the like SoundCloud or any of those?
No. So I don't have any of my spoken word. Like, believe it or not, I just stepped into this, like what you see now, as of like 2 years ago. I'm gonna give
Okay.
myself that much. And because I've always done music, I've always done art, and I realized that music wasn't my lane, but I still loved the spoken word aspect of it. So I was determined to still express myself, and I turned to spoken word poetry. I found Clubhouse, I found my
Mm-hmm.
people. And once I did that and started to really just follow my passions, I found you, people found me, and this is how I'm here. So 2 years ago I started, well, I didn't start poetry, but I started this journey to spoken
Right.
word, and now I'm here. So I don't have anything like as far as books like that, but I am thinking about doing a spoken word audio book with like
Okay.
visuals. So like they have like all this AI stuff coming out, and I'm seeing like like different artistic videos that
Mhm.
give me an idea. Well, maybe I can link this with some poetry and kind of figure out a way to get my brand of poetry out there, because I'm not what I'm not what I would call a page poet. Like reading my
Right.
poetry doesn't do the same as hearing my poetry, because I'm
Yeah.
theatrical.
Okay. Well, on that note, let's get you to give us a piece,
Um, I
please.
sent you three. Which
You
piece would you
did.
like to hear?
Okay. So I'm gonna let you go for it.
Okay.
I'm gonna let you pick because I'm not gonna do that.
All right. All
And
right.
I can,
Let me just make sure I get my
yeah.
charger right here. There. All right. So this piece is called oh, this piece is called Time Stand Still. How do you make time stand still? Better question. How do you start feedback of a relapse with a cold flow? Well, the nose knows. I keep a chilled pen to pen a Z pack with a pack of pens or a pack of room. Well, I pack a show with mind sweeping features. So did anybody pack a broom? A dice in destiny. While vacuuming a verb, noun, it's time to really spring clean the mess in me. So can you measure me? Because I've been sent to meet you like a centimeter, and I'm just trying to be the central speaker, the central speaker, my eye on the sparrow. So get at me for the Twitter feature. I'm winning. The only L is leader. I think I caught a felony flow. You see how I'm missing a misdemeanor? I got lost in the light. I think I missed a bringer. So how do you dwell in the darkness? When dismal demise daring to dream about a dark fist, dark wing, ducking a dark night until I can doctor enough doom to devastate disaster because the dark might. And it parks right next to the shadow's path. While I'm shadow working on purpose, so I add peace to abundance, and that's how to multiply light. I'm doing the shadows math. PEM, DAS, PEMDAS. That means purpose expands motion daily to abundantly stretch. Flow. And my parentheses be exponentially multiplying, dividing the time, and adding affirmations of yes, while subtracting the nose, you know, because I told you the nose, because I meditate inside of melanin and melatonin, meditating into a metamorphosis. Have you ever met a metaphor that ever met a moment? I gave you love, light, and abundance. Where's yours? Do you let them own it? I mean, artificial, that art that gets you targeted by the hardest issue. So my only question is, Do you let them clone it? Does gratitude come in GMO? How many multiplied lines must divide the times to make the seasons grow? Until I started beefing with my brain, turned vegetative in a state. Now my state is a statement, so my natural state was meant to be a vegan flow. So can I be understood? While I'm mushrooming my magic, I wish a chicken the woods over my inner until my inner's understood. I overstand the test of time, and I know time wish it could. And as my mind leads to all the shoulds and all the coulds, brainstorming my mind in the monsoon of a mood that seems to be misunderstood. I learned it's good. GOOD, gratefully offering overdoses. Is it bad that I get high off the good? And that's where time stood, and where my fly landed for real, with a plan planted for skills. So many opposites of the opulence, but my confidence is the consequence that makes common sense out of competence in a poetic TikTok. Feels so real. I planted my seed to grow poetically in a garden of forever, and I figured out, hey, that's how to make time stand still. Sincerely yours. Peace.
Okay, so you started and ended the same, which is brilliant. But in between, the wordplay was phenomenal. And that whole thing with the C's in there, the alliteration was just fantastic.
Thank
But
you.
you're welcome. But the thing that I want to hit on is that there seemed to me to be a real spiritual connection in that piece for you.
Yes.
Yeah.
I do a lot of meditation, and I'm very into holistic living. And I try to express a lot of that in my writing to give comparison and contrast to some things that may seem complex or complicated. But when you break it down, it's not, you know, let's see. Uh how do you start feedback of a relapse? Ask questions, like uh you start that by talking to yourself, because that's what happens first, right? Um, I tend to do a lot of introspection, and all of these things that I express in my poetry are a lot of internal questions that I ask myself and answer myself, right? That I'm more so just sharing, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just sharing my free thoughts um, with what I feel is an enlightened view of how I see the world. Excuse me.
No, it's all good. It's going around. Um, yeah, you definitely have not only your way with words, but the way that you're trying to portray it so that we can see it is really it's not just eye opening it, but we can feel it. Like there's a feeling in there, and there's a little bit of urgency too. I feel it's like now, right? So what's next for you? What are your goals? What are your hopes?
So as I've said, I've relocated to North Carolina.
Right.
One of the main reasons behind the move is because my family, we have some land here, and my plan is to live an agritarian lifestyle by growing all of my own fruits and vegetables and living off of the land, and putting my own structure, domicile, whatever that may be. I'm looking into geodesic living, but my wife, she wants to do a tiny home or a container home or something like that. My lifestyle is completely non-traditional. Nothing I want to do is traditional in life by any standard or measure. So this, just like everything else, uh, is the sole purpose of us moving here, to take control of our lives, right? For everything that we do is bought and paid for, in a sense, right? You have to pay for everything. You got to pay to live. And, I don't think that is right, natural. I don't think you should have to pay, water's free. There's water everywhere. Like, I don't think those are things you should have to pay for. So my constant drive right now is to cultivate this land, to have a more abundant future for myself and for my children and for my family. So that's primary focus. Secondary focus is to follow my passions with my poetry, to let my talents sustain my lifestyle.
Okay.
So that's the drive, and that's where I'm manifesting that it goes.
All right. Well, you're moving to the right place. We got quite a poetry scene there. Absolutely.
Yes,
Yeah. That's
I've been
good.
tapping in with a few people so far, and so far I have actually have a show coming up on the 20th of this month with Gia Scott Heron, Gil Scott Heron's daughter, at Lincoln University. That will be on the 20th, so 420. My favorite day of the year.
Be checking your South Carolina crops for that.
You know what I'm saying? I that's my favorite time. So I will be there. And that's another thing that like poetry has brought me. It's brought me in spaces with dope individuals. Like it's brought me to places where I don't think I would have been unless I was in the poetry scene, unless I was actively doing what I love to do, really. Like
Right.
I try to say, like, nowadays, I'm not finding things. Things are finding me. Like I'm just attracting all of these different things. Like as long as I just keep doing what I feel passionate about,
Mm-hmm.
my passions become infectious for others. People want to make those things happen. When someone sees you driving for your passions, they will reach out and be like, "Hey, I see you. Maybe I can help you go up a little more." Right?
Right.
Like, and that's what I'm seeing. I I I feel grateful because I've been engulfed and wrapped and supported by the poetry community, between Clubhouse, between Instagram, between Twitter, and I only got Twitter literally because of a poetry acquaintance, and and that's even been great. So like, shouts to everybody that supports me, that follows me, that continues to reaffirm that my purpose is in purpose.
And that's beautiful because this is a really beautiful community, very supportive. There's some kind of a connection within the community that just really is uplifting and energetic and inspiring. It's really a beautiful community. I'm familiar with Clubhouse and Instagram. I don't wander too much farther than that because it's overwhelming. There's so
Yeah.
much going on in both of those places. So kudos to you for having more than just that, because that's a lot, but incredible.
Well, thank you. Like it's I thought that I would need like a media manager for all the different things, but I realized I'm the only person that's going to do what's necessary, right? Like I can give it to somebody else. Like I can give it to somebody else, but they're not going to do it like me, right? So like I'm purposely like finding the time to learn these different things, to learn, what needs to be done to be the most successful in any avenue. that I'm going down. So I'm learning the different marketing sides of the interwebs, and trying to, the different editing tools, and trying to, keep up with all the newer things that are coming out. Like, it's funny because I just recently got a TikTok too. Like, and I was so opposed. I was so opposed because my kids walk around, and like, they do the little dances and things like that, and I just like, ah. But I realized, as far as promotion, and that there's also a poetry community on TikTok.
Mhm.
So it's kind of like, um, nowadays I'm doing things more intentionally. Like, I want to be in spaces where the poetry is, because that's what I want to do. So if I want to do poetry, I'm gonna be in anything, anywhere that there's poetry at. Because as long as I'm doing that, then I know that it's all organic. I know that everything that I'm doing is what I want to do. I don't have to be fake. I don't have to be in front of people that I don't want to be around. I don't have to do none of that, because everybody that I'm around are poets. I like y'all. I want to be around y'all. Y'all do what I do. Hey, family.
Right. So, what is your biggest struggle or your biggest frustration?
Uh, Not having enough time. That's my
Um,
biggest frustration, is not having enough time. Like, I don't really feel, I'm never frustrated in writing. My process is, as far as writing, like, I free flow all day. Like, there's a forever amount of ink in my pen, and if that one runs out, I'll grab another one. And I'm constantly finding inspiration in everything. So, the one thing that definitely frustrates me is not having enough time, like, in our constructed days, to do all the things. Like, to do all of the things before you have to wake up and be an adult and do all the
right,
adulting. Right.
right. First, you have to adult, and then there's a time when you have to sleep. So, cut some things out of our lives, right?
Right.
Absolutely. Okay, so you have two young children.
Yes,
So,
oh, I have a 14-year-old daughter, and 15 now, 15-year-old daughter, and an 8-year-old son. So,
okay,
yes, I have them every summer. Um, they're with their parents, they're with their moms. My son's mom lives in Pennsylvania, and my daughter's mom lives in New Jersey still.
okay,
So uh, it's um, it's challenging, to scheduling and things like that. But once the plans are solidified and everything is rolling, it's all great. Like, everything's all great. Like, we just had a great vacation, uh, before I got here. So that was March, 3 months ago. Yeah, so about 3 months ago, we had a good vacation, um, to my grandfather's. He owns horses, so we ride horses, and it was a fun little trip.
okay, okay. So, have you instilled or have you had the opportunity to get them interested in wordplay, poetry, spoken word,
So,
page writing?
so my son is really creative. So he likes video games, and puzzles. That's his thing. His thing is puzzles. Um, so I don't force things on my kids, right?
Yeah.
Uh, I think that everyone has a gift, right? And the greatest thing as a parent is being able to find out what your child's gift is,
Yes.
right? So honestly, my only job is to help them cultivate whatever gift they have. They know that their dad does poetry. They know that their dad poets, and uh, they will write little poems for me, right? Since, like, and they will do little cute things like that. But as far as aspiring to do poetry, they don't show that type of interest.
Okay. Okay. So do you have to tell them that their poems are good,
Yeah,
or
yeah,
are they
yeah.
good?
I mean, you know what? You never tell your kids a poem was bad, right? It's like I remember my mom still has the clay, the clay thing that every kid makes in school with the handprint, right? She has that to this day with my little writing on it. Yeah. And the Thanksgiving turkey on the plate, your hand. Yeah, she still has that. So
Yeah, that'd
can't
be
tell
me.
can't tell can't
I
tell them the
just
poetry
gave
bad.
them. Yeah, I just gave them all to my sons on my last move. I was like, you guys can have your own things back
Like how
now.
many mementos do you like as a mom, how many mementos did you have? Like how many did you have? Like how big was the box?
How big was the box? I had an entire china cabinet.
Wow, that's
An
awesome.
entire china cabinet full of mementos from my children. Yeah.
And like
So
when you took that little trip down memory lane, was it awesome? Like where all the
when
things came
yeah,
from.
they were in storage for quite a while because of a few moves that I made. And on my last move, I just like when I was unpacking them and putting them out, it was quite a trip down memory lane. And yeah, little pictures of them in frames, and their birth certificates in special silver containers, and just like and I got boxes of their baby clothes. They each had a memento box, and they're grown now, but when they got to a certain age where I knew they'd appreciate it, then that's when I handed it off to them. Because,
I feel like
then
those are great things to have. Those are like those. I know people that don't have some of their baby pictures,
mm,
right? Due to whatever reason. So when you have things like that, those are very sentimental pieces. Like I hope like I'm such a sentimental person. Like I keep all my kids' birthday cards. I have birthday cards from my aunt from when I was like 12.
yeah, it's too much paper. I never did that part, but yeah, I did all kinds of stuff. It's hard to part with certain things, right?
Yeah, it
Like
is
you
like
never know what life you just never know what life is gonna do, and where you're gonna go. But I love hauling stuff out when we were moving and holding up the little baby clothes and going, "Dude, you wore this when you were a baby," and they were like, "Okay." They'd be like, "Do you know how tiny you were?" Like,
like yeah, mom, whatever.
making a big joke about it and stuff. So, you know, my kids, a lot of people in our community don't know, like, I'm a big jokester.
Right.
So, and so my family knows, my kids know. Oh,
But mom jokes all the time. Like
mom jokes all the time. Mom jokes all the time. The other day, my son was cooking, and so I was bugging him that the pan was too hot, and he's like, "It's not too hot. This is how I make it all the time." I'm like, "You're doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong." And I got on my phone. I went onto YouTube and I turned on the smoke alarm thing, and he's looking everywhere in the house for the smoke alarm because we just moved here, right? He's looking everywhere. He's getting so upset. He still doesn't know. If he watches this, then
oh,
he'll
if
know.
he watches this, he gonna know you got
Yeah,
pranked.
right? He gonna know, but yeah. So my goal is
Not
to
this might this
turn
might
it on
start
every
some shit.
time. I'm gonna turn it on every time he cooks until he figures it out. Bug
Is
him
it a
about his
is,
cooking.
is it an electric stove or a gas stove?
We have a gas stove.
Okay, yeah, because we just moved here. We have an electric stove, and I don't like it. I don't
No,
like it. I don't
no,
like it. I
no.
don't like
Gas
it.
is where it's at. Yeah, as long as it's coming out of the stove, then that's what it's good. Okay, so tell me, um, tell me what you hope is coming up for you in 10 years?
Ooh, in 10 years,
Good question, eh?
in 10 years, I see to be doing a whole lot of nothing.
Okay.
Like that. That's where I see myself in 10 years, doing a whole lot of nothing. Um, just being. Like I'm, doing all this, creating my own ecosystem to just be. Like I don't want to have to do anything extra. Just want to be, and be in harmony with everything and everyone. So like um that's where I see myself in 10 years. So
I'm
this
just gonna pick
journey.
up my iPad and I'm gonna put you in my calendar for in 10 years because I want to check on you and see. I want to check on you and see how that's going. Because
Thank you.
if you got it, then I'm gonna make you do a book so that everybody can have it. All right. Can you give us another one of your pieces, please?
I surely can.
Yeah, I know,
Um,
right?
let's see. Okay. Okay. So this piece is called Written Before Me. Hey, yo, sincere, bro. How do you write that poem? What are you talking about, man? Hey, how did you write that poem? What are you talking? I didn't write the poem. It was written before me. What do you mean? How do you shadow ban a light beam? I said, how do you shadow ban a light beam? You put candles in the calligraphy and write clear eyes, clear eyes, like Visine, while I'm looking past the future to be the presence that the time seen, multiplying the magic that time's seen, having a real dark night, being the bane of existence that poisons all the ivies that shines in dreams. So why so serious, son? I put pen to pad, period on period until the period's done. And I don't structure a sentence. My sentence is structured. My lungs. So I breathe passion and poetry. I impregnate a body of work, my pen touching ovaries. I'm wrapped behind 4 lines, 4 playing. I'm really just quoting me, quotations. They make rotations. And I'm just passing the smoke in me. So you want to get high, Craig? Because my pen is proof of a pigeon coop. You see the way I retweet a parakeet? How many polys must a parakeet? Emotions are like oceans. You treasure traumas until they bury deep. So that's 2 signs, 2 times, because I really try to carry peace. Yeah, 2 times, like a pair of peace or a piece of pears. Now give me a piece of air. I want a slice of life, because don't the sky taste like care? And I care about all the careless causes, never compromising my consciousness because I care less about playing with pauses. I'd rather rewind, record, and let's put it on a record and make it last forever and ever. And I wrote it. I wrote it like Dolomite, because I'm a bad mother. I can't, because I'm a poet. And I'm a poet because I'm a prophet. And I don't need to profit from poetry because poetry makes me a prophet. So let me prophesy with the goddess eye, because my story is her story, surely. Growing in the womb of Mother Earth. So how do you shadow ban a light being when the darkness is living purely? You say, this little light of mine, because all the being was being in the light, like the poetry. It was all written before me. Sincerely yours. Peace.
Okay. Again, with the spiritual aspect to it, but I have to say, take it back to, you bring in some nature in it too. And I know when you're talking about the ocean, I get that there was a rhyme scheme going on there. But what I loved about that is that, water is, um, a metaphor in nature for emotion. So, you
Yes.
know, that was done really well. I like
Um,
that part.
the water, is, like you said, is the energy in motion. You know what I'm saying? That's why we have the emotions, and it all flows. So you can row your boat until, yeah. um, uh, it does seem like emotions are like oceans. Like we treasure some of the hurt, and you bury that shit real, real deep. Um, and sometimes it takes a couple shovels to dig it up. you know,
Yeah.
and once you dig it up and you looking into that treasure chest of trauma, if you will,
Hmm.
you know what I'm saying? Like you really have to look at all of these pieces. How many pieces do you need to make peace with all the pieces that were broken?
Right.
Right. Um, these are the type of questions that I feel like everybody kind of has these questions. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like these are everyday emotions just placed really creatively. um, yeah,
Well, I like the fact that you talked about, like, you know, your prophecy in poetry, because, you know, I like to think that for the community who doesn't poet, and even sometimes for those who do, you know, um, I like to think that sometimes, like you said, people are asking these questions or they're feeling these feelings, but the the community who doesn't write, they don't necessarily have the words to explain what it is that they're feeling. And even sometimes, as myself as a poet, I can hear something and be like, that's what I wanted to say. That's what I was feeling, and that's what I wanted to say. And I write, and why couldn't I come up with that? Like, but we get things collectively. Some things come to us from ourselves, some things come to us from other people. Songs, um, poetry, books, you know, we just don't know where our answers could be. Nature.
I
So,
think that the important part is learning to be observant and recognizing when those things are there. Recognizing when you see the patterns, when when you see something that you were thinking about, or that you wanted to make happen, and someone else comes along and says something that stimulates a thought, or a certain line of thinking that motivates you to go do something or act on that thought.
yeah.
That's when you're really, I like to say, taking time to smell the roses,
Hmm.
because in that moment you really, it's nothing like a eureka moment.
Yeah. Very, very true. Very true. I like how you were talking about how many pieces do you need to until you find peace. You know, that's a deep statement. That's a show in itself. I'm not even gonna touch that at this point because we could go on and on about that. So, but you know, what I enjoy about you is that you're very down to earth. You have a very grounded philosophy. Your poetry shows those ways, but on top of that, it is also extremely entertaining. So I like the culmination of the both because they're both things that are important to me.
Like
You
I
know,
want to I want to be able to teach people within what I'm doing. I want to be able to educate a little bit, because I use words that sometimes people may are not aware of, right? But I one thing I do hope that happens is that when someone hears something And I get this a lot. People will go back and be like, yo, I didn't know what this means, but the way you just did that, that made me go look this up. And now that I know that, I'm looking up other things, right? Um, if your brain is what controls all of this, right? Uh, mental workouts should be a daily thing,
Yeah.
right? So in my writing, I hope to make people's minds do that thing that makes them work out, so that they be like, oh, okay,
Okay.
okay, yeah.
All right, that's brilliant. I like that because I'm a thinker. I like to think. I like to be thought provoking, but for me, like I like to tune out and I'll watch TV, but I'm truly not tuned out. Like the whole time that I'm watching, I got this other layer that's going on, and I'm processing, I'm thinking, I'm planning, I'm doing all kinds of things. It's kind of noise, something to help me kind of otherwise focus so that I can bring all that thinking. I do like my mornings to think in quiet and peace,
Mm-hmm.
but then I have this other mode where it's like, okay, I need to like shut everything else out and focus while I think. I know it sounds really weird, but that's what I do, right? So I love it when somebody can make me think, can make me question, can make me start to try and see something the way that they see it. Because I don't always need to be right. There's lots of different rights, right? Like I used to tell my kids when they were growing up, there's lots of different ways to do things, right? There's no, like some things require this is the way you do it, and
I mean,
that's all
now
there is to it.
is it
But
a
there's other
right
things,
or is
yeah,
it a
but
right?
yeah, but there's other things that there's lots of different ways to do it. It's the outcome that matters. So, I very much enjoy getting to know people in a different way too. So that's why this show is, because I think you're aware, right? Some of the other shows that I do, it's very fast paced. You don't get a lot of
Yes.
time to talk to people because, we want to keep everybody's attention and we want to keep things going. And so many people want to come through. So this is kind of my opportunity to bring it down, to really get to know people and to let them express what they want to express. So with that, I want to ask you, what do you want people to know about you?
Um. hmm. I want people to know that I'm not in it for the fame, the money, or all these superficial reasons. I do this because I love to do this and because I'm freaking good at it. And for no other reason than my love of poetry. And if y'all love poetry like I love poetry, then I love y'all.
All right, lay one more on us then.
All right. Mm. So so I'm gonna leave you with my signature piece. I didn't send you this piece, but I'm just
Okay.
gonna leave you with my signature piece. Is that
Yeah.
okay with you?
Oh yeah.
Um, so this piece is called Average. Hello? Hey, yo, sincere, bro. I was talking to some people the other day, man, and they was like, yeah, it was average. All right. Well, I guess because methodically I'm possibly a monopoly. probably, or an odyssey of prophecy. So logically, I just gotta be, you know, sodomizing democracy or atomizing philosophies, prodigy and mythology use paranormal anomalies. See, Aristotle, I'm Socrates, Plato, God, she broke the mold when she made me. No Plato. Every bar is like a drug. When you inhale it, tell me how can you say no? Because most of these haters are booty, ass, anal. Me, I'm hot, I'm lava, volcano. Now, here comes the eruption. Verbal percussion while pulverizing percussion with my powers of deduction. No further discussion. I'm bussing. If poetry's sick, well, I gotta be the Robitussin you and get it. I know you love it because when you jump up in this fire pit, know that I've been prophesized by hieroglyphs. Leonidas with Titan's fists, a Spartan on this stage. But I control it like the Dominus, Nefertiti or Romulus, 3D without an oculus. I'm kamikaze the populace, Superman in Metropolis. Poetry's in my blood, in my job. I feel like a phlebotomist. I'm never fighting one-sided. I'm lightning unguided, Poseidon unsighted, battlegrounds of the Titans. This is victims of verbal violence. A metaphorically massacre. No limits, no alliance, complacent, no compliance. My station is space. So please, tune into my science. I could sun the moon and realign the stars of Orion. My bars are so Zion, I already beat Goliath. Hello? So now I got a brawl with a lion. My skill it like a pan. So every stanza, I be frying. And I'm feeling like a star because I'm similar to Klondike, prison, and where you get drunk at. Now ask me why. Because I just gave you bars. See, lyrically, I'm a prodigy, and spiritually, I'm an odyssey. Genetically, an anomaly, but I'm feeling closer to Socrates. I'm so cute, yeah, in my angles that I feel a little like Isosceles. I dominated my sovereignty, but that's only in comparison to keep pairing me with a purpose. It's a parent what's on the surface. I scare them. I know they're nervous. I would rather be respected, but they fear me, and I feel it's worth it. You see, every track's like a trapeze. I'm flipping. This is my circus. I'm gifted. This is my purpose. I'm caught up in the matrix. So I'm glitching, tripping the circuits. Like every word that I'm slurring, I hope you listen and learning that I'm really preaching a sermon. See, this is tortury or sorcery or ornery on the beat. Gonies are going in a foreign floor and 4 in the morning to Florida for a forger to forge me papers for passage. See, it's more than training a savage. It's more like changing my status. So next time you see me flow, hello? And you hear me go, hey, I want you to know that I'm way beyond average. Sincerely yours.
Yes, you are. That was phenomenal.
Thank you.
Man, I would be tripped up the way that your wordplay was going. That was just so great. Too many bars in there that I'd want to break down. So I'm just
Yeah,
gonna
that's not that I don't have that piece written down. That's all up here. And I wanted to send it to you. I was like, if I got to write all this down.
No.
But it's definitely one of it's my signature piece, and that's really the one that I either end with or start with
Okay.
because it's the most attention grabbing piece. One of my most attention grabbing pieces.
I concur. I think it is definitely caught our attention. There was some great remarks there about them. Very impressive.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'm going to take a quick break here. So what I'm going to do is we are going to transition into a little something different. But in the meantime, I'm going to thank everybody who's joined us. I want to let you know that this is Let's Talk Station, and this is Serious Shenanigans. We're here with Sincerely Yours. We're chopping it up. We're having a great time. And we've done the serious part, and we're about to get into the shenanigans. What I can welcome you to do is to like this channel and subscribe to it and hit the notification bell so that you get notified of this show when it runs and the other shows that are on this station as well. So make sure you do that, and then we will see you again and again. But in the meantime, we're gonna try having some fun, see how that works out. So I'm gonna ask you a few questions, and we're gonna see what kind of answers you come up with. I want to let you know that there are some prizes involved. So we'll see how
Okay.
you do. All right.
Let's
So
go.
you are now banned from the local library. What's the reason for it?
I pulled a straight Lori Beth Denberg and I was like, this is a library. And then just walked away. And I said it to a 2-year-old.
Right. And they pulled your card for that.
And I said it to a 2-year-old.
That was okay. I said it to a 2-year-old. That's even better. All right. Do you have any pets?
No.
No. Okay, well, let's pretend you have a pet.
Okay.
So you have a pet, and it's lived with you for a long time because we're pretending now, right? Because you don't. So if your pet could talk, what's the one thing that they could say that would completely ruin your image?
So if I had a dog, the dog would probably say some like, his fart smell worse than mine.
All right, I'm good with that. All right. Okay, so you go grocery shopping, I assume?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you went to the grocery store, what are 3 things that you could buy that would make the cashier look at you sideways?
Okay. An all black hoodie.
All right.
Some rope and a shovel.
Right. And it's okay. All right.
Look at me funny. I might get arrested on the exit.
On the exit, you might.
On the exit, I might get arrested.
Right. You made me. Okay, so this question's a little bit serious to me, okay? So I just want to let you know. So when you eat a gummy bear, do you eat the head or the feet first? There's a prize associated with this.
I ate the whole fucking gummy bear. Who just eats the head of the feet? Like, what? I eat 4 or 5 gummy bears at a time. I dig my hand into the bag. I go like, there's a good percentage of the time I'm stoned. So I'm like, listen, it's with my munchies. I'm with a whole bag of Haribos.
Okay,
Listen.
well, so for that, you won 10 gummy bears, but I get to eat them. You don't know how to eat gummy bears. What song would make what song would make the best theme music for you?
Inspector Gadget.
Do you did you not did you not cry All right, so let me see. What is the most irrational superstition that you have?
Most irrational superstition that I have. I think the most irrational superstition that I have is not walking in the house, not taking your shoes off when you walk in the house.
What's gonna happen?
I don't know. My mama never told me. That's why it's irrational. I don't have an answer as to why, but I just do it. So I don't know why. Because my mama said so. I feel like that's just a good enough answer. You know what I'm saying? Because mama said so.
Okay. Well, for that answer, because mama said so, for that one, you have won a year subscription to IG.
Gang.
Okay. What's the weirdest food combination that you enjoy?
I like pepperoni pizza with bacon and hot sauce and ranch on it.
And that's weird?
I mean, at least that's what my wife tells me. She said that shit weird. She said it's weird.
All right. Okay. So because your wife says so, we'll give it to you. So for that one, I'm gonna give you a prize. It's I'm gonna give you, let me see which one of these prizes I'm reaching in. So you get one slightly used bounce dryer sheet.
A slightly used. That's you know what? I gotta do laundry. I gotta do some laundry. You know what? The smell's probably still smelling.
It might be. It's slightly used. Okay, so you have okay, so you have you're a superhero now, and you have the most unlikely superpower. And it's probably not even useful. What is it?
The power to screw in the light bulb. You ain't never see a light bulb get screwed in as quick as this.
All right, that was a pretty good answer. I'm reaching for my best prize in here. Oh, here we go. I have an all expense paid trip for you. This is my best prize. I think it's my best prize. So you have won an all expense paid trip to your local park, and the voucher is only good for pedestrian traffic.
Yes. I love the park. Hugging trees are freaking awesome.
Right. There you go. All right. So last question. What's the stupidest question you've ever been asked?
What's the stupidest question I've ever been asked? Probably the stupidest question I've ever been asked.
Okay. Well, there you go. So so absolutely been a sincere pleasure spending time with you tonight. You're first guest on our first show, doing this show. So I'm super excited. So I want to send you something special. So I'm gonna send you a plant. Yeah. I'm gonna send you a plant. So are you in the United States?
I am.
Okay. Well, they are gonna hold it in the border and they will likely return it to me, but I'm still gonna send it to you, okay?
All right. Hey, you are good jokes. You got good jokes. You got great jokes. The folded dryer towel.
Dryer.
Yeah.
Right. The slightly used dryer sheet. It's coming to you.
Yeah. I'm no cap. I'm really gonna put that in somebody's birthday card and
Okay,
send that
perfect.
to
You're
them.
gonna say I won this and I'm passing it on. Okay, well it's it's gonna
be the perfect regift.
Yeah, it's a regift. And you can tell them that there's something very special too, because you won it on a YouTube show. So yeah, I'll be mailing that off.
This got YouTube clout on it.
Right. Maybe I'll draw Let's Talk on
Gonna
it.
smell like YouTube.
So tell everybody where they can find you.
Yes, everybody, please, you can follow me at sincerely_yours86 on Instagram. You can follow me if you're on Clubhouse at the Lost Tribe of Poets on Clubhouse. You can also follow the Lost Tribe of Poets Instagram page as well. I'm recently just a part of TikTok, so you can follow me at TikTok at sincerely_yours86, also on TikTok as well. And
Excellent.
you can look out for me on dates. I got the Revolution Tour for 420 in Pennsylvania. I have May 13th, I'll be with Deep Thought, the lyricist, on IG for his show.
Nice.
I'll be in Texas twice, once in August and another time in September. First time I'll be with Michael Gwynn Entertainment, and the second time will be for the Deadly Pins Retreat, September 28th to October 3rd. So those are all the things that I have coming up, and there's a few more things like in between there. You also got a few new open mics that I'm hitting in between that time. So yeah, those are all the important things that I have coming up in the next couple months.
That's awesome. That is very, very exciting. We wish you the very best here. We're super excited that you put aside the time to come and spend with us. And I hope that you will come back. I hope you'll come
Anytime.
back with us. And I know I'm going to see you running around the streets of IG. And we'll be over there doing stuff and hanging out. So that all works well. I like that. Don't block me. So I'd like to thank everybody who joined us. I'm going to ask Sincerely Yours to, once this is posted, to go in the comments and let everybody know where they can find him, and anything that he wants to add in, like show dates or anything, so that you can easily find it. And then I would like to thank our producer, Quentin Ford. Without him, this would not be possible. He does a great job behind the scenes, making sure that everything runs smoothly. And he's a great guy, and he does a great job. So again, I'd like to offer you to like and subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell. And we will see you here next week, where my guest will be someone that will be advertised. And we will be hanging out with that someone doing the same shit but different. So take good care, everybody. Thank you, Sincerely Yours, one more time. And we will see you next week. Quentin, do